Welcome back, guys. Today I'll be talking about NIO stock. NIO is up around 6% today, but has fallen around 5% after hours. On the week, we see it's up 15%. On the year, it's up around 1,500%. And since its IPO of $6 a share, it's up over 900%. So, for the people who don't know what NIO is, I can summarize this in two words. Uh, China Tesla is essentially the biggest electrical vehicle company in the country of China. And why is that so important? That's very important because China makes up 37% of all the global demand of the world in terms of electrical vehicles, and around 77% in fast and slow charging electrical vehicle chargers. So that's why it's very, very critical to have a good infrastructure based in NEO. And yeah, so let's look at some of their financials. Has around 100 billion market cap. The CEO is Bin Li. He also ran a previous Chinese car company. So let's look at the reason why it went up so much today and why after hours it dropped and whether or not I will be buying the stock. One of the main reasons why NEO went up so much over the weekend was due to the fact that NEO on Saturday had something called NEO Day, where they introduced several new concepts for the futures. They talked about their future plans and they revealed their infamous ET7 sedan with a LiDAR, one of the companies that does self-driving and has one of the biggest ranges in the electrical vehicle space. And I was looking over the reports and I was actually like listening in during Neo Day. Expectations were pretty high, and I would say they actually met expectations, but in no way did they exceed them. They did have the ET7 sedan, they did release it, they did show some of its autonomous technologies behind it, and also the LiDAR system as well. So one of the main things that was quite interesting about this day was that they talked about how Tesla was not a competitor and how they work in two separate industries, which I kind of agree. One thing that they also mentioned was how they're being, very, being in the renewable section. They said they're going to open a fashion line for Neo, where all the clothes comes from excess materials of the car manufacturing process. They also mentioned 66% of users have at home NEO chargers. 792 NEO chargers and 177 swap stations are currently in use, which is good for 1.49 million cars. They have a new battery technology with 150 kilowatts per hour and a solid state battery, which improves the energy density by 50%. The ET7 full size sedan cost is under $20,000, which is kind of incredible. I don't know if they're going to make that $20,000 claim, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the 25K area. Tesla has hinted that they are working on a $25,000 car as well. These are soft closing doors, they don't have wing doors, and deliveries will start quarter 1 of 2022, which is much closer than people think. Quarter 1 of 2022 is only 11 months to a year away, while Tesla said they'll be releasing the $25,000 car probably, by 2024. This article goes on to talk about how they have, options, stuff like that, how the ET7 car, specifically the first sedan car, will be starting at around 69,000. However, they also talked about how, they're going to launch, lower car cost car. Now let's look at why it dropped after hours and whether or not I will be buying the stock. So one reason why NEO also has been popping over quite several months was due to the fact that NEO's price targets have always been increasing. Today, I believe around 5 to 6 banks have increased their price target. JP Morgan increased from 75 from 50, increased from 70 to 50, 71 to 65, and most of these are very, very prestigious people. And I know a guy in Deutsche Bank, he had $120 price target, which is the highest, and I believe Bank of America is at 70 as well. So out of the 13 bank ratings, I think 12 of them are buys and one of them are holds, which is really, really incredible because during this time, and it was like below $10, no one was mentioning it now, but now since it's past 60, everyone wants to talk about it. I would say the only fundamental change is that the clarity behind NIO as a Chinese company, we know it'll be favored by the Chinese party because China always wants to have their companies to succeed in China itself. But Tesla is taking a big market share in China. One thing else, the reason why it went down today after hours was due to that fact that convertible note of $1.7 billion of senior note shares will be added to NIO, meaning that the shares will be a little bit diluted. I believe it's around 7 to 8%. So not a big deal. So the stock price did fall 5% after hours accordingly. I expect the stock to stay in this 50-60 range. In terms of electrical vehicle manufacturing, they actually have a pretty decent margin in my opinion. However, I still think that we can let this cool off a little bit. It might go to 100, but I would say a good buying range is around 40ish. I've had NIO when it was $6, and I sold out when it was at 10, and that was one of my biggest mistakes in terms of stock purchasing. So now I just buy stocks and I'll just hold it for the long run, regardless of a short term uh, price fluctuations. So there you have it, folks. I like the stock pretty decently. However, wait for the price to come back down a little bit. It's above 60, and it's $100 billion market cap company for a company that doesn't produce too many cars. So just take that with a grain of salt. I liked what they showed in NIO Day, but again, remember the risk with Chinese companies and high market cap companies. Thank you for watching and have a good day.